Because I want to film today, but I want to sit in this corner. So I'm gonna need to redo this whole thing and take away the stuff that is here. So, yay. Okay, so hello and welcome. I have now fixed my shelf. Isn't it pretty? And I know I'm very late to this party, but I want to talk about Poison from Hazbin Hotel with Angel Dust because I could write a whole essay on this topic. Like, I could analyze the shit out of this song. And I'm not gonna. I'm gonna change the light too. Wait a sec. I like being pale, what can I say? Perfect! Okay. So, I love this song. I watched it for the first time just 1 week ago, some weeks ago, and I loved the series. And when we came to episode 4 and saw and heard that song, I don't know, something happened within me, and I can't explain exactly what happened, just that something happened, because I have never felt that way. I was depressed and euphoric and just happy and sad and all of the emotions, and I just could not take it in. It was too much. So instead of just staying in my brain, it was a feeling that spread throughout my body, and I've never experienced that before with a song. Like, I listen to songs texts. Like, if I like the text, I don't really care if I don't like the rest of the song, as long as I vibe with the text. That's me. But this was just a masterpiece in itself. Like, every single line, so good, and the cinematography, I'm gonna call it that, so good. Oh my god, I just love the whole thing. I can't explain it. And I have wanted to talk about this with someone, but no one I know have actually watched this show, so I can't fangirl over this or have someone to talk to. So I'm gonna talk to you, the two people that will maybe watch this. So let's get into it. Like I said, Poison is my favorite one. I think that maybe because I'm into BL right now, like I have read so much BL and a lot of gangster stuff and a lot of sex district, red room, red district kind of things. I've read a lot of other stuff too, but it stands out to me because that's not my normal daily life. Now is it? So that probably has something to do with it, but when this came on, it's just so up my alley. Like, every character in this series is just their own series. Okay, you could probably make in almost every character could have its own series. Like, they are their own person with their own backstory, and they could just do it. So, Angel Dust. So he's a porn star. He gives a lot of sexual comments and remarks, and is always a happy-go-lucky character. Like, happy-go-lucky, happy-go, fuck yourself because you're in hell anyway, so nothing matters. That kind of happy-go-lucky. So it's a very uplifting show. It actually is, okay, but not this episode. Like, I thought about this because in every, there's an intro, and then Amazon Prime has this for 16-year-olds and up, and 2 episodes had for 18-year-old and up, and this is one of them, and I totally get that. Yeah, you could say well, it's not real, it's not real people, so it's not as gruesome to look at. No, that could be true for you, but yeah, watching just that one is like just Poison. That is pretty gruesome. Like, if you hear what he sings and looks at the screen at the same time, that is, there's not much left for the imagination. Okay, and still they are, and it's horrifying. So great. But before we get into this song, we get Charlie, who comes to his work to talk to his boss, Valentino, and kind of ruins the set. And oh, I love and hate this scene so much, because Valentino drags Angel into his, like, studio room and threatens him, and he'd be like, are you kidding me? How can you expect to do this? Do you think she's gonna save you? I own you. I have a contract. What do you say if I ask you to fuck 20 guys before lunch? And he's like, yes, Valentino. And what do you say if I ask you this? Yes, Valentino. And then he says, and what do you say if I ask you to get rid of her so we can continue filming? And instead of being, yes, Valentino, he can't say that. The only thing he wants from this conversation is, please don't hurt her. And it's so heartbreaking because, okay, so he is a character that, obviously I'm not only going to talk about the Poison. Okay, I'm going to talk about Angel Dust in general. So, he's a character that is very, very self-absorbed. You barely see him take anything personally, and he only reflects it, which is a coping mechanism and a saving yourself kind of mechanism, but still. So, in earlier episodes, we have seen that he cares a lot about Charlie's opinion about him. Like, when she praises someone and dismisses him, or like, not dismisses him, but not praises him, she's like, well, you did a great job, and he doesn't get any praise. That kind of hurts him. You can see that he takes that pretty hard. And so when he talks to Valentino, and the only thing he wishes so hard for is just don't hurt her. And it just hit. Like, it hit me because he tries to not care, because it's much easier in hell if you don't care. It just makes your living a little easier to get through. So most of the characters denies that they care about each other, and I'm like, yeah, I probably would do that too if I were there. It's not much to be happy for, especially when you sell your soul to be a porn star or whatever Husk is. He's a minion, but I don't know, whatever. So, I totally get it. It's not that, but that line, so good. And he goes out of the locker room and just, he says everything he knows will get her to go away. And it's so heartbreaking, because when he's done and she has left, he feels so bad. You can see it in his whole expression that he really, really regrets that. He hates it. But he feels like he had to do it, and he did it because that's what he had to do. And now we get the Poison song. So he has just been beaten up in his locker room, been talked down to, being confirmed that he is a sex tool, a sex doll, a slave, and has no autonomy of his own, because he's just there for Valentino's satisfaction. And now we get the Poison song. So great. So it starts with Valentino saying action, and we see how Angel is just flipping in his character. He's like, well, this is so much fun. And like, I am very sarcastic, like, oh, this is so much fun. He is obviously not liking it, but he is faking it to his inner core. He is doing his best to fake this, and it's believable on screen. So, great job. Yes. And he like spins around, lies on the bed, and is still in this like, oh my god, so sexy, so like come and take me. And then his face flips and you can just see like, I do not want to do this. We go to the next scene. He's on a like stripper's pole going down, sitting between a guy's legs, and he checks Valentino, is like, is this good enough? And he blinks and he goes back, he takes a breath, and the scene goes on. And I don't know, I just love how they made this like song, how they put it together, because he flips all the time and it's so obvious that he does not like this. But up until this point we have only heard him talking well about his job, and I get that, because well, I would probably also try to tell myself that this is what I have to do, this is something that I'm gonna teach myself to like, but you don't, so that's just great. So yeah, and then we cut to the scene that I find the most interesting, and I'm gonna compare it to the other song in this episode, which is my second favorite, which is why episode 4 is my absolute favorite episode. So good. Which is A Loser Just Like Me. So the next scene is him being on like this pink leash to Valentino and dances towards him, and Valentino does this move, they like dance together, and then he drags up his arm and drags him down on the floor, and he has like no autonomy of his own and just doing what he thinks that Valentino wants him to do. Like, okay, you want me to go towards you, you want me to dance with you, and now you want me to crawl on the floor. Got it. Doing that. And then in the Loser song, we have a similar type of scene when he dances with Husk in front of this loser sign. And Husk just lets him dance however he wants. They're not like crawled. They're not like pushed up against each other through the whole sexy thingy. And he's not on a leash. He's not even looking at Husk like that intensely to understand what Husk wants him to do. He's just in his own, and Husk just lets him be, and then he takes his hand and they spin together, and it's so much more like consensual, weirdly. So weird. But it's so much more consensual, and you can just see that he's so much more comfortable. He's not checking Husk all the time if like, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Am I making you happy? Are you gonna hurt someone of my friends? No? Okay, great. So I'm doing an okay job. Nice. Then I know. I just think it's a great scene that you can compare with the next song that has a similar scene. So yeah, that's great. And now we like pushes us in to a scene where he like does a spin on Valentino, and we get flashes from different like scenes that are happening. And you can also hear in the text and in the imagery that he's like snorting coke through bills, and he's like, yeah, you got me where you want me, anything you want, anywhere you want me, anything you want. And this is something I only realized now. I actually put up a TikTok video on it because I did not realize this before. So in this scene, he's like spinning on Valentino. I caught that part, but then he's pushed up against a wall by someone, which I thought was just another actor from the porno, But no, that is Valentino that pushes him against the wall. And then a little bit later again, we get a scene, like, because he is a porn star, so, and he actually, like, fucks people, because Valentino says that all the time, and he says that all the time. So it's not weird that he's fucking people, but the show never, like, actually showed him having sex with someone, just going into it. It's just like, oh, we're gonna film now. Oh, this is gonna happen now. Like, we never see him actually doing anything with anyone, except for this scene. And I think that is pretty telling. Okay, so it's pretty weird that I missed this, but still. Because I was like, okay, we're in the middle of the song, okay. Oh wow, we actually saw you fucking someone. Okay, moving on to the next one. I didn't cut it, okay, I should have, I didn't, okay. So, but that is also Valentino. That is actually fucking him. And they are actually kissing, and I feel so bad for Angel. To my core. And then Valentino bites him. So that should have told me also, because then we actually see Valentino. But I didn't get it. I did not catch that. I have also only watched this series through once, and then I have seen all the music videos once, and Poison like 300 times now. I've listened to it like 300 times. So yeah, that's nice. And I also said this in my TikTok. So when, oh, so gross. Okay, so when Husk pushes him to be like, stop being so fake, and he's like, I have to be this way because just maybe I break myself enough so I'm not gonna be his favorite toy anymore. And when you realize, which I didn't the first time I watched it, when you realize that he is not only Valentino's favorite toy on screen, but also his favorite toy in the bedroom. Yeah. How nice. I may want to break myself too if I were in that position. So, yeah. Amazing. Like, that line was already heartbreaking to me because that was the first time he actually started almost crying. But it hits so much differently and so much deeper, and it hurts so much more when I realized this. So, yeah. But then we're moving on to the next scene. Just glossing through that, over that, yes. So now he is like dancing. No, that's not the other scene. The next scene is when they're like in a BDSM kind of room, in a sense. And I think that scene is so interesting because he's sitting on a bench being tied up, smoking a cigar or a cigarette, I don't know. Valentino goes towards him, takes his hand so gently, like I see it as that, which I'm just reading into this, but makes Val a more interesting character than just being a bad guy. Like, it gives him more depth for me. So he takes his wrist, like holds it, takes the cigarette, and then gently gives the hand to the one that is tying Angel up. And I know this is all to manipulate and all to like have control, but whatever, no matter the reason, it's just interesting that he seems very gentle in just that particular scene. And then he blows smoke in his face and Angel like goes into doesn't know what he's doing anymore, like gets high. So that's nice. It's like disassociate, disappear. And yeah, you can actually see it because you see it like through his eyes. And Val is just so into it. And also why I'm saying like this, I get that this is for 18-year-olds because yeah, everything up until this point is very graphic because it's a porno and he sings about poison and that he doesn't have any autonomy, kinda, and that he is a marionette. But so it's very, the text you can see the text contrasted in the imagery. But I think one of the worst scenes, I don't know why I think this is so bad, but I've always thought that. So they're like binding him up with things around his ankles, his neck, and it's a gag ball. No, that's not the word. Yeah, it is. No. I think you know what I mean. It's a sex toy, obviously. But it's like a ball you put in your mouth and then you clip it behind your neck so you can't speak, talk, do something, anything. But this thing is just a ring that, instead of a ball, it's a ring. It just opens your mouth, and I will just let you understand what that is for. Okay? And then they pushes him around, and in the same, when he says like, I can't resist another gulp, he like lands on the floor in front of someone, and they just pushes his head towards their crotch. And yeah, you could miss it for a split second, but that is the kind of very literal imagery you get with the text. So you could just imagine that, or fantasize that you don't understand it, but I think it's very hard to not get what is happening. So through this whole text, true, but still, so after that scene, we get, that scene like continues, and they cut between Valentino and Angel's face, and he's just so terrified. He doesn't want to do this, and he gets hit and choked, and now we're on a dance floor. And I think this is very clever. He is in all black with two dancers behind him, and then two big screens behind him that like flashes pictures from time to time. And his dance on the dance floor is very like sexual, into it. He's totally there, all for you. He loves it. And the imagery that like pops up when it suits perfectly in the song is him tied up in, like, he does a position, and it's the same position on the screen behind him, but he's tied up, and it's obvious that he doesn't want to be there. And then he moves to the other screen, doing a pose, and the imagery does the same, but with no clothes, tied up, no autonomy. This song and its imagery goes so fast that I'm not surprised that you need to watch it a few times to like catch things, because it's not even a second. It's like a split second, a half second of just different pictures going in and out of each other, and that's what makes it so good. So I'm not saying that I would like it any differently. I'm just saying that it's a lot happening in this song. And he's doing this dance, and what I like about this, you get what I mean, is that he is into it because he, like, I would say that he's playing a character all the time. And when he dances, he doesn't need to think about it because he knows it so well, his character. He like gets into the character and are there. And then we see him realizing that Val is going towards him, and you can see his fear in his eyes, and that he doesn't want to do it and tries to like get away, but Val takes his hand, drags him into him, and then they like fall. And right after he falls, we get a scene where he's in his dressing room, closing his door, locking it, and like singing, spitting this pink liquid that Val just produces all of the time, and goes to the balcony, sees something on the floor, and is like, this is gonna kill me, I don't want to do this anymore. And it is just so good and heartbreaking and disgusting and just life killing. It's it's horrible, but it's also such a good portrayal of what they want to tell and what they want to say, because Angel doesn't have respect for Val. He is afraid of Val, terrified. Val is his tormentor, the thing that he will have nightmares about for years or his whole life. And we don't actually know how Angel got into the business, I don't think. Like I said, I've only seen it through once, but I don't think we got that. We know that he has a contract, so he can't get away. He can't, like, quit. Because that's not how selling your soul works. Surprise! Can't just take your soul back when you're tired of it. So we don't know why he got into it. I would guess he got into it like everyone else gets into shit, which is everyone in hell. You are one of two camps. Either you are the one that are just tormenting people so much that you are on the top, or you are the one getting used by the people that torments to be on the top. So you're on the bottom, but actually doing something and not just dying on the street, because I don't think you can starve to death in hell. So that's just great. You can live on the street if you want to, but I don't know, I'm not gonna psychoanalyze this. Okay, I'm not. I just like this song. I love it so much, and I just wanted to talk about it, and it breaks my heart, and it's so good. I can't stop listening to this song. And the thing is, when I first saw it, I got a feeling, and then I put it on my Spotify list, and then I listened to it, and for like 3 days I could not get this feeling out of my body. And for me, I like need to think about something so much that it dulls out, or I need to listen to something so much that it dulls out and like leaves my body and isn't as intense anymore. And I am almost there. So great. This did not impact me in any way, shape, or form at all. No. Oh yeah, and for those who think this show is for kids, it's not. Okay. Maybe listen to the age restrictions, and especially listen to the age restrictions on the episodes that says 18 if you are very, not sensitive, but maybe if you have some trauma in some sort of way. Not be careful, but like know that you might have to skip a bit, or maybe fast forward, or maybe pause a little, because yeah, I don't deal with that kind of trauma, so I can't relate or tell you what to do, but just know that it's not a nice show. It's very intense, and I love it. I'm such a big fan. I want to see season 2 now. I'm almost sorry that I saw season 1 before season 2 is out, because all I want to do is watch that and listen to that song, and I don't want to be a productive member of society, which I'm not anyway right now, so that's just great. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this with someone, and now I have. And I have probably not said everything I wanted to say, but that's fine. Anyways, I love this. I recommend Hazbin Hotel. If you see the first episode and doesn't like the humor, you will not like the rest. And if you see the first one and falls in love with the characters, congrats, you have a new series to watch. And yeah, it's partly a musical, which I love. And also, I don't know, I think this song also hits differently because we have so much backstory to the character that is singing the song. When I listen to a song on Spotify, I'm like, oh, I like this text, and then I move on with my day. This song is related to a character, and we know his backstory, and we know what he's been through, and we know what kind of person he is. And through that, we get this song to tell us more about how he's feeling, and it just hits so much harder and differently than just a regular, oh, I'm heartbroken, boo-hoo. It's like, yeah, I like the song, it's just not hitting me deep down in my gut. But this does. So, this is my favorite song. If you have another, please tell me, but yeah. For me, this is my top one. So, I hope you're having a good day. If you want to tell me something in the comments, feel free. And